All right, let's talk about MLS playoffs. We'll get into some takeaways. Let's do a bracket. Let's get a reset for everybody that might not be following it as closely as we are. But, Inter Miami went into their game 3 against Nashville, and Messi just decided to take over. The guy's an absolute beast. I mean, you give him barely any space, if any space, and he somehow finds a goal. No Suarez, no problem. He got suspended after a little altercation with Andy Nahar from game 2. Didn't matter. I guess the big question, let's talk about Inter Miami first.
Yeah.
And Chuck, I'll come to you. Do you feel like they're better without Luis Suarez?
I do.
In some ways, yeah.
And obviously, I don't want this to be taken out of context.
No, totally out of context. Keep going.
Luis Suarez, incredible finisher, right? But let's be honest. At this day and age, he's 38 years old. He's playing on one knee. He can't move. And by the way, Mascherano has been playing him 90 minutes every single game. So you're not getting anything from him off the ball, out of possession. He's not defending. He might be taking up good spots, but ultimately he doesn't have the speed that he once had where he could hurt opponents or the quickness. So instead, when you have Luis Suarez out of the lineup, you can play Tadeo Allende, who was phenomenal, right? He still makes these mistakes every now and then, but he's 26 years old and he has an engine. He just keeps running. Then you throw in Baltazar Rodriguez, who again is one of those guys who's busy, he's active, he's young, he's 22 years old, constantly on the move. And Matteo Silvetti, who I got to watch a lot with the U20 World Cup, him playing with Argentina. He's 19. He's hungry. All of these guys are doing the dirty work. They're always constantly running. They're constantly winning the ball back. And by the way, with their movement, it frees up Messi a little bit more. He has a little bit more room to operate in, even though he obviously is going to generate all the attention. But when he has the ball, Messi, and he's generating all this attention, and you have these guys moving, it just looked like Miami had a lot more energy to their game. And Jordi Alba still getting up and down. But you're not having to rely on too many players who aren't moving necessarily, who can't give you the active energy that you need defensively to win the ball back in transition, or to constantly create space in the attacking third on if you're playing a little bit deeper, guys who can really hurt you on the counter. So, and given that, I think they are a little bit better, just in terms of how they can defend and win the ball back, because defensively that's always been Inter Miami's Achilles heel.
All right, so Messi, 8 goals in 4 games, all in a row, decision day plus 3 playoff games against Nashville. Well, that's ridiculous. He scored and assisted on all the goals in the whole playoff series over 3 games. Now I know we took some shots at the playoff format. I will say, in defense of the 3-game series, there is something when you get to game 3 where these two teams are so familiar with each other. There's just something a little spicier on that game 3. We saw it a little bit with Hexeth, the midfielder from Nashville, kind of running his mouth to Messi. Messi ends up making him twice.
It didn't work out well.
It didn't work out well at all. I mean, why would you even go? I don't understand why you would open your mouth and talk trash to the GOAT. I just don't understand how that helps anything. I mean, like the last person you want to get motivated is the GOAT. Yeah, that's just dumb. It's just a dumb decision, and it costs the team. It didn't matter. They were going to win anyway because Inter Miami just were the
Sometimes you got to get tested, I think Tag Seth said, hey, let's just see if you still got it.
Well, he found out.
He found out.
He got his answer.
Listen, so Tag Seth ran his mouth, everybody, and he had to make his Instagram account private because he was just getting hammered with comments about running his mouth against Messi, which is pretty funny that he'd have to go to that level after what are you doing? Anyway, he learned his lesson, and I don't.
What do you do as the coach? So you guys are going to be coaches soon. What do you do? Like you're BJ Callahan, and you're hearing all this stuff. Like you see him poking the bear. What do you say to the guy? Like you don't want to take away his edge.
No,
right?
you
don't. But you're like, oh man, of all the guys, is that the guy you had to go after?
Nah,
don't. It's too late at that point. So you wait till after the match, and you said you learned your lesson.
Yeah.
You learned your lesson.
You okay now?
Maybe we don't. Maybe we don't do that next time. Maybe we shouldn't do that next time. Unbelievable! Yeah. What a decision there. All right, so Inter Miami will be hosting, they'll be going to FC Cincinnati. He'll be hosting FC Cincinnati. Let's get into them, Big Tones. Down a goal against Columbus Crew, and that last one maybe could have revisited some past the chances in where they could beat Columbus to go on, and they end up losing So they exercise some of those demons and get the result coming back from 2 goals down. Brenner ended up scoring 2 good goals. And I feel like FC Cincinnati's got some good momentum. This is going to be a hell of a contest between them and Inter Miami. A 1 game. There's no 3-game series anymore. It's just a one-off.
Yeah, in Cincy. And I think that the thing is what we saw against Columbus, when they picked up the pace, and Orellano, who's now getting back to full fitness, like he came in the game, they made some changes. They were really, really good. If they want to play slowly against Inter Miami, that's not going to be the formula, right? Running through the midfield, being able to exploit some of those deficiencies of Inter Miami. Although I got to be honest, Inter Miami's defense has looked so much better over the last couple weeks than they have the entire season. So they're starting to find some organization there. They know what the battle is. I still think there's just I don't know what you call it, this rally around Busquets and Jordi Alba leaving, and Messi even, you said it right. He took over the game to say, hey, I'm going to send these guys off in the right way. We don't like what happened last year, but this is the matchup we wanted to see, right? This is where at this point, we wanted to see FC Cincinnati against Inter Miami. I love that it's a one-off. It'll be really, really intense. I think if you're going to go, I'm just looking quickly here. If you're going to go to a game, out of all the home games, Vancouver, LAFC, that's going to be a wild one up there.
That's a great game.
But I would think this is the game you would choose. Like if you could just choose one to go to for atmosphere, I would think this is the one. At least this would be the one I would choose of the 4 to go to.
All right, FC Cincinnati played against Inter Miami once at home this season. They won 3-0. Evander scored 2 goals. Messi was playing in that game, and they pretty much had their best 11 there that I'm looking at right now. So something to keep in mind. The other game they played was in Miami, and it was a 0-0 draw. So FC Cincinnati played Inter Miami twice this season and have yet to give up a goal. I think that is pretty impressive, all things considered. I don't think Messi's going to allow that to happen this time around. All right, moving on to the Western Conference. Wow. We have, the Sounders. The Sounders blew it against Minnesota United in game 3. They blew it. They're up 2-0. They had a man advantage. Couldn't hold on to that lead. Let it go to 2-2. Had about 3 chances to win it in penalties. Couldn't do it in penalties either. And they have no one else to blame but themselves, which has got to hurt even more. Minnesota United now move on to take on San Diego FC, who were tremendous in game 3 against Portland Timbers, winning that one 4-0. So San Diego now hosts Minnesota. And you have the top 4 seeds. So 1 versus 4, San Diego versus Minnesota, Vancouver versus LAFC. Both of those are going to be good games for different reasons, but I think Vancouver LAFC is the standout. But when we look at their seeding, Chuck, number 3 is LAFC, but we could argue they might be the best team in the Western Conference because of one player in particular, Son Heung-min. Is he the best midseason signing of all time? He's got to be in the conversation because the guy has been incredible.
Messi takes the cake for there. And sure, you could say, well, they didn't win MLS Cup. I can say Messi took that Inter Miami team that was woeful, that was absolutely dreadful, bottom of the Eastern Conference, terrible. They won Leagues Cup right when he came off the bat. And remember how impactful that run was as Inter Miami all of a sudden won Leagues Cup. And they nearly got into the playoffs, but not quite enough. But in terms of impact for a league, I think Messi takes the cake. If we're going to go right underneath in terms of teams that have really changed from a midsummer signing, all of a sudden they get to an MLS Cup, and I think Jermaine Jones has to enter the conversation because we were a team outside the playoff spot, just trying to hang on to be in contention to all of a sudden Eastern Conference favorites. And I think Jermaine Jones was phenomenal, and his impact. I think we went 10-1-1 in the games since he signed with us. And then Didier Drogba, that was a massive signing for Montreal, and that lifted them up tremendously in a big way. But maybe not so much as Jermaine Jones, and certainly not as much as Leo Messi.
What about my brain's going to Giovinco? I think he was Zlatan was definitely right. The Zlatan entrance.
But they were both they came in March. They came in the beginning of the season.
Did they?
Zlatan came.
Zlatan's first game was the start of the season. They played LAFC.
Robbie Keane.
Robbie Keane for sure came in the summer of 2011.
Nico Lodeiro was
Nico
one.
Ladero came in and they won
pretty
MLS
much
Cup that season.
every big signing was a summer signing, right? In MLS.
But
yeah,
look at the teams they were going into. You know, I think
right. I'm just thinking of people in contention. That's all.
Yeah.
Jovinko, his first season, I don't know if maybe it was his first full season. The guy was lights out. The guy was
2015.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Lights out. Maybe the best single
Giovinco
season that the league has ever seen.
yeah.
Leaving Messi out of it. Messi aside, incredible, Jovinko. Thierry Henry, I think, was signed in the summer of 2010. I don't think he didn't help the Red Bulls win anything. But
how do you put Bale in the whole conversation? Because he had like one of the most. I mean, he didn't start all the time, but he had one of the most magical moments in Major League Soccer history, right?
Yeah,
I was in the stadium.
Impact for that. Yeah, I was behind. I was behind that goal. I was on the field, on the pitch, right behind that goal. I said, "Oh my God, this is written
what a
in
game.
the stars, right?"
Unbelievable.
Oh my God, that was crazy.
He couldn't play. He wasn't even healthy, so he can't be in the conversation. He might have you're bringing a global superstar into your locker room, and he's around the guys and like inspiring, but you know, he's not serving the impact that we're talking about. These guys playing every single match, goals and assists. Robbie Keane is certainly in that conversation because what a tremendous player he was.
Yeah, incredible, and a nice fit.
So who did we come up with? What was?
I don't know. I don't know who the winner is. The best.
I think Messi is the clear winner for now.
Yeah.
But of course,
if Son Heung-min wins MLS Cup,
if they win MLS Cup and he has that type of, I mean, there's no arguing that. But LAFC were still pretty strong. It's not like this team was trash. They still had Denny Bouanga, like a league MVP. So,
right.
Yeah. But everything's jumped. We look at the stat here with Son and without him. With him, 12 matches, 8 wins, 3 draws, 1 loss. Only 1 loss in 12. 30 goals scored. They're averaging 2.5 goals a game. Without him, they were at 1.7, and then average assists per game jumped up by 1. So they're at 2.25. They're only 1.25 without him. So yeah, everything's changed, and obviously they become so much more dynamic. Before you could key on Bouanga a little bit, and that could pretty much help you solve a lot of problems. But now if you worry about Son and Bouanga, that's just a different beast, all things considered. Yeah, this is a great conversation to have. We're going to think about it some more in our last break of the show.
I was about to have a conniption. He said, "Don't you forget about Nico Ladero."
Because who said his name?
No, but he's like he's got to be at the top. He's gonna have a conniption.
Okay,
Ivis
is like, listen, Seattle had just fired Ziggy Schmid. They were 6-12 near the bottom of the table, and then they won MLS Cup months later after Ladero got there. 4 goals and 8 assists to get Seattle into the playoffs. 4 goals in the playoffs. That is a pretty special season, all things considered. We apologize, Nico Ladero. You should have been a bigger name in this conversation.
Yeah.
I know you're sad. We've come to the end of the video, but if you want more average to good content from your favorite former U.S. men's national team players, this is the channel to make it happen. Go look at our other videos. Go look at our playlists. And if you want more of the content, the best way to make that happen is to hit like, hit subscribe, and then turn on all of your notifications so that you do not miss anything that we drop or when we go live or whatever it may be. We appreciate you. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.